Okay, got blah blah blah. We're gonna do this daily astrology for February the 28th. Okay. So glad you joined me. So let's go ahead and slide on over to the astrology. Here we go. All right. In the event pool, the 28th, it starts out with the moon in a quincunx with Uranus. And you can see it right here. The moon's energy in this quincunx or an opposition. This was at 1:06 in the morning, early after midnight. So this is the early morning hours. The moon and its conjunction with the south node. As well as, I don't know why that's doing that. I'm curious. Okay, there it is. The moon with the Uranus and in this quincunx. So the energy here is that there is the moon. These feelings you have can be sort of with Uranus. What comes with it is sort of a change. It can be almost like a sort of rebellious energy or inspiration. It's an inner individuality and uniqueness, intuitive, creative, expressed as either coming out as an inspiration or somewhat emotionally rebellious to something here. It's a breakthrough of society structures to become more independent and original. Don't want to be like everybody else. Don't feel like everybody else. You want to be unique, and that's what Uranus is about. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. It is the new ruler since it was discovered, but the old ruler is Saturn. So Saturn is not interacting with Saturn at the moment, but it will eventually sextile with Saturn, and it would be the authority of or the limit. While you're trying to maybe be unique, emotionally different, you're expressing yourself in such a way, and you're kind of going against the norms of society. But yet, there are, with Saturn being sort of that father, the teacher, you may be going against a teacher or a mentor or something here of the norm to be original, unique, going against the grain, especially with Virgos. I'm just going to say it because you're unique anyway. Not to say that there's not some unique qualities with all the other signs, but it's unique in a way that it is. Virgo is sort of the natural healer, the worker, the person of service. But then again, you with your own health, you may have to think about yourself. And you just maybe have been that type of person all for many years, that you were of service and you're just kind of putting your foot down and you're kind of standing up to something here, that you're not going to go with just the norms. Like, I have plans, I have dreams, and you may be setting boundaries or expressing that emotional feelings of, I don't want to use the word anger. There's got to be another word here, but it's to aggressively try to get a point what what it is that is upsetting you. So there is this change when it comes with it. But like I said, they will eventually sextile, and they will have to learn how to work somehow that you can still be an individual, but you can work within that or operate within that limitations of the society. And take responsibility uh, and be responsible into the rules and the laws of society. And this could be a scary place for you at this time, because with the eclipse that is coming on the 10th, no, I'm sorry, on the 25th of the new moon, or the full moon. Gosh, what is wrong with me? Blah. My tongue just wants to just blah, 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 blah. On the 25th, the lunar eclipse that's going to happen, there may be some fear here. And somewhere here with the restrictions in society and all is just, it's like you want to break free of it. About anything that may be obstructing you, limitations placed. I mean, it's, and I'm only saying this because of the quincunxes that are there with, that are showing here with the Lilith, the mean Lilith. I'm not saying she's mean, but I'm saying this is where it's connected to your inner shadow. But, you know, in those areas where you may put your foot down, you may set boundaries, you may express that I don't want to use the word anger, and I cannot think of another word at this moment that's upsetting you. And you just, how you choose or you don't choose, that that you're going to go against the grain of and defy the norms. And these energies, for yourself. Now, so I don't want to get into the lunar eclipse right now because it's so far off, it's at the end of the month. But let's switch over to what these aspects are throughout the day. Like I said, this begins at 1:06 a.m. So, okay, here's the event. All right. Like I said, we have the one up here, begins at 1:06, and it's in Libra. The moon is there, and like I said, it is that conjunction with, or that quincunx with Uranus at 19 degrees, which is about healing. There may be something here that you can stand up for yourself. A lot of people may be standing up for themselves. Now, and doing what they need to do. Now, at 3:40, 3:42, well, darn it. Trying to get the, I'm going to go ahead at 3:42 in the morning. This is dealing with the sun conjuncting with Mercury. Now, Mercury's in Pisces, and it's debilitated. It's when a planet is debilitated, meaning that it's opposite its sign of its rulership. It's weak. It's negative. It's repressed. You feel like maybe you're not being heard, or you don't have the strength in some way to deal with something here that you may need to deal with because of these combined energies. Mercury's in the shadow because it will be going retrograde on I know this was on here. No, it's not. It'll be in April. I don't know how I got March and April mixed up. I guess because I've got that solar eclipse on my mind. Um, I've got too many things I'm thinking about, and it's not helping. And I'm ruled by Mercury, so got to deal with it. Now, with this happening, um, where we see the sun in conjunct with Mercury is creating a couple of yods here. So let's look at those aspects of the yods and what they're how it's working here. The first one is dealing with Venus sextiling over to the North Node. It's about the future. You want to make some sort of change in your life for the future, healing maybe old wounds. Something here about, Chiron is all about health, but it's attached to Virgo. And just as Vista is attached to Libra, bringing the balance, the scales of or your plans or your future, what you're going to devote yourself to in a just way, fairness, balancing, in relationships with other people, how, you deal with things and how others deal with things in partnership and relationship. These are those sort of one-on-one interactions in business, contracts. You want to be fair, but yet, you're trying to make money. You want to do the right thing in marriages. You want to be give and take. You want that give and take. When the scale gets tipped, it kind of throws everything off in the relationship when it's unjust and unfair, unbalanced. So, but it's something of Venus in a sextile with that North Node. It's the feminine energy. And it's there in the 11th house, which is about the 11th house is friends. I mean, it's like-minded people. You want to find people, you want to connect with people that feel or think that you can relate to and communicate with, that sort of share ideals. It's like a group of scientists get together. They're all kind of like-minded. They're, looking at space. They're looking at this or that, scientific stuff. And so, but it's to a feminine nature where you would devote yourself in some way with friends. You're devoted to these people. Or, are they devoted to you? You may be questioning this. What can you salvage out of maybe some friends? Some you may leave, groups you may leave, friends you may leave, because the ideals have changed, or there's some kind of maybe dispute thing here. Venus also is that of you either gain something or you can lose something. And so if it's not, you're not able to share something here, it's like every time I talk about these, I'm thinking about things that are going on in my life as well and where the difficulties lie. It doesn't mean I don't care about the people. It's just that if we don't have the same goals or the same common purposes, and one's dedicated, one's not, they're dedicated somewhere else. These are kind of like where you get at that point where you're standing there at the crossroads and you're thinking, do I go this way and let them go that way? Or can we resolve something here? So, and what are you going to put your foot down to and you're not going to allow? Boundaries. Maybe Maybe there's people you can still have in your life, but you're saying, I got to put some boundaries here, because the apex on this is dealing with that Lilith. Having that courage to say, hey, I'm not going along with this. I want to be independent from it. It's not, it's not for me. Or you've outgrown something here as well. No. And we can see it's connected. It's, are you growing in this? It's going to be about, that connection with Jupiter of growth. Are you growing emotionally? Is it rewarding? Is the relationship rewarding? Or is it too much of a struggle to deal with it? So this yod is, which is usually it's either called a yod or yod, it's the finger of God that's pointing something out here that you need to stand up for yourself. Maybe you need to put boundaries around you, and you've done so much or been so much of service, or you doing service, but this is where there's limits. I will only go this far. Again, I'm sitting here thinking about my own life. It's like it's coming out, and I see it, and it's like it's slapping me in the face, saying, I'm doing this, and I don't even realize how connected it is here to the situation. I'll help, but I'm not going to do all the work for you. There's a limit. And if you cross that boundary, then yes, it may make me angry. So that's one of them. And the other one that it's connecting here, the other one it's connecting here with is the other yod, which is dealing with Chiron. Maybe this where something is unhealthy in that first house, because Chiron is all about health for the future, and it's talking about the future. You want success here, and if it can't work in that direction, and there's not going to be the healing in a fair, balanced way, then what do you got? You know, it takes two. What is that? It's a song. It takes two to make a thing go right. Yeah, you know that song? Takes two to make a thing go right. Well, this is kind of like what we're looking at here. So, oh, sorry, hit the wrong one. Dang it, get rid of that. Okay, now the next thing we have here is dealing with Mercury. That's also going to create. I think it might be the same ones. I don't have it. All right, so we're going to go 7 hours ahead. Come back 10:07. That's this morning. Again, the yods. We're waking up to basically the same thing here. The same yods. They're still there. It was lasting from 2:00 in the morning for 5 hours. Divine's been feeding something at you that pointing something out here. You have to activate your heart in what you want. Where is it your healing needs to be for the future? What you may have to let go of as well. A lot of times we don't want to release people that we care about, or something may be coming, a contract may be coming to an end, and you might renegotiate it. I don't know. And I'm just looking at something here. You may have to renegotiate those contracts. This is going to carry on for quite some time today. So it's from 10, and I want to say this too. Today is Wednesday, so the day is being ruled. You know, like I said before, if you looked at the old videos, the day starts when the sun rises, from sunrise to to sunrise. So Mercury will rule from the time the sun came up this morning all the way till when the sun comes up tomorrow. The hour is dealing with Jupiter, the 4th hour right now. Now the hour would change as we move forward. So let's go ahead and look at this next point in time later on today, where we're going to be at. We're going to go 5 hours ahead, and we're still dealing. If you look at it, we're still dealing with the same 2 yods. So God is really talking to us here, making us become very aware. He is there with us through this difficult time that we're going to be going through, this change that is taking place, trying to get us to change our heart, to not harden our heart, but to be fair and balanced. It's okay to be dedicated to something. It's okay to work toward what your dreams are, your visions are, as long as you're keeping yourself grounded in a way that this is what you really want to dedicate yourself to and work through something here. I mean, as difficult as it may be for us to deal with things, at times, sometimes you need that spiritual help to get through something here that may be really, really difficult. I know I've been there, trying to figure things out. What am I doing? Why do I feel the way I feel? Because it's almost like with this yod that's showing, now see, at this time, from where we went to at 10 in the morning, 10:07 to 3:32, around 3:30. Now we're at the hour of Saturn, the 10th hour of the day. Remember, there's 24 hours in a day. Still, Mercury's ruling it, but Mercury's debilitated. Remember, can't think straight. Sometimes maybe the communication, there's a misunderstanding. Can we work through this? Or always make sure you're asking somebody if you're not sure of what's being going on here. Ask for that clarification. If you're having a conversation, I like to do this a lot myself. If I'm speaking with someone and I don't catch what they say, or my mind, my ears take in, they say one thing, but my ears, you take in something else. And there's, instead of just going with what they said and kind of getting upset or whatever here, I will repeat back what they said. And first thing I'll say, what did you say? Because I understand you said this, this, and this. And I'll repeat it back to them. And this is where you can deal with those sort of situations where there may be some misunderstanding, and you can work through it. Because it's going to, it's going to be, something's going to be confusing here. The moon in a quincunx over to Neptune. Neptune is that gassy planet where, our imagination or our psychic abilities lead us beyond materialistic, but what I'm concerned about is the imagination, the illusion of something, because illusions can be negative energy. And with Mercury being setting over there in Pisces and is debilitated, the sun is there, it's connected to all of them. And like I said before, they were all at 9 degrees. With that yod saying, hey, you need to look at something here a little bit closer. Don't just take it for granted on something. Get the clarification if you need it. Work through it. The next thing we have during this day will be the moon. I mean, even with Mercury, in conjunction with Saturn here. You remember I said the father, the teacher. If you don't understand something of what's being said, don't be afraid to question it. If you're trying to learn something, there's no dumb questions, okay? It's only dumb when you don't ask it. How can you learn if you don't ask the question? Right? And if you need somebody to physically draw you a picture or draw it out and explain it to you, then they got to do it. But there's no, question it. Don't just go along with the illusion of what you're being told. And don't back down from it either. I'll say that. Do not back down from it until you are really got it where you understand it. The next thing we're going to have here today at with the moon in that quincunx with Uranus as well. I've already did that one. I was doing that one now. Okay. I had the wrong one highlighted. Sorry about that. The next one we have is where the sun is in conjunct with Saturn at 9 degrees, and that's at 425, and it's going to create these two mystical rectangles. So let's go jump over there and see what it's doing. It's like those yods that I was showing you. It was like being something pointed out by the universe, because God always tells us, look to the heavens. I'm showing you something here. And remember what I said about the mystical rectangles. They're also referred to, Google it, mystical rectangles in astrology. They're referred to often as and called Lucifer's rectangle. Something deceptive, something toxic, something not right that can come about today at 4:30. Let's jump over to it and take a look at it. There it is. What is it including? It's dealing with the North Node, and it's trying the ascending in the 5th house. Now, again, I will say, always take your sun or ascending, whatever you're watching for, okay, and put it in this position. And then you'll know where the houses are. Each one of them will be different. You'll look at the house, then you'll look at what sign it's in, how that sign, it deals with the personality trait of that sign. The house represents what it's about, the category. And then look at, then you can kind of see where these are connecting. So it's definitely dealing with the 1st house. It's dealing with the 5th house. It's dealing with the 7th house, and it's dealing with the 11th house. And it's a triangle with 2 sextiles on each end with an opposition to the 5th house. So there's something here that is coming up And like I said, the first to the sixth house is you as the individual. The seventh through the ninth house deals with you and other people. And the 10th through the 12th house deals with the environment, the world you live within, in society. Gains or losses, karma that's created, your career, your education. Father, teacher as well. So there's something here in your life, you within a sort of, with that fifth house, wherever it may be for you, the fifth house represents love affairs, romantic attachment, self-expression, creativity, art and drama, children, playing games, and speculation. So be aware that you, whatever your relationship is with the individuals on a personal level, how do they connect with your environment over here in society? How do you and this person that you're connecting with in a personal relationship, whether it be with your children, your spouse, or your love affair with someone, or whatever it is, how does the self, you, involved in this, the relationship, on a personal level, seventh house, partnership, marriage, contracts, your own individuality, friends, those, only friends. I'm talking about friends. I'm not talking about, your 3,000 people that you associate with on Facebook, okay? That you've known your whole life. I mean, really, come on. I get so agitated when I see that kind of stuff. And it's dealing with contracts, partnerships, lower courts, and the law, the seventh house. So we see a lot of legal cases going on right now, and they're kind of crazy when it comes to justice. And remember, Libra is about justice. The balance of the lady standing there. It's almost like Virgo standing there. And she's putting her foot down. And she's saying justice is wrong. Because it's almost like Virgo is the one with the blind on. She's the only zodiac sign that looks like a human, that is actual full human of creation or service in the constellations. Most of them look like part animal, part person, or an animal. But she's the one who was really pointed to at the time of when they say our Lord and Savior was born and what was going through there. She is birthing something. Remember, Virgo deals with the Eight of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles. It's reality, security, what is fair. And she's blinded. She's almost like that Lady Justice, who only believes in what is fair and right. That no one. Now remember, there was women judges in the Bible. And they had to make decisions. And they had to be fair. And that is where we get probably the image of the lady with the blindfold on. She just looks at the facts. She knows the laws and contracts and partnerships. Like I said, all that's dealing with the seventh house here. And what we know. And there is this opposition that's leading over here. But we're seeing this mystic rectangle. And I'm telling you, there is evil within this quartz. And I feel like, personally, it's all going to come out. And because that 12th house deals with karma, and the sun is there, and Saturn is there, and Mercury is there. People are going to be looking at people and what they're saying, especially within the justice system and the fairness here, and they're going to say, what did you say? It's what's actually being said and put out there. Remember, Mercury's also what's being published, what's being written, what's been spoken, what's been the thoughts coming out. I mean, it's like it's not being hidden anymore. So is you in sort of some sort of relationship there, and it's being fueled. Now remember, what sets fire or causes this rage or anger to come up, and remember, like I said, this Lilith has to do with something about putting her foot down, limits and restrictions, and expressing the anger. So this is really, and what sets fire to burning or going out of control is air. When a fire gets caught by the air or the oxygen, it just comes out and it's flying. I mean, it's blazing, right? It just takes off and goes crazy. So, you know, we're talking about Mystic Rectangle here. And we're talking about Lucifer's rectangle. I mean, there has been spiritual talk by a lot of people who study the Bible, who study Christianity, study history on it. I mean, if y'all remember correctly, if you even know your history, when the Roman Empire controlled the world, what did they do to Christians? Not only did they put them in the arena and fed them to the lions, but Nero turned around and took them, put them on crosses, doused them with oil, and set them on fire for the flames of the night. This guy was a lunatic. And he was the emperor. Out of control. Spiritually, I mean, evil, such evil. So, you know, like I said, this is, what are you dealing with over here? You could be dealing with some aggressive behavior from people. Because what? Speculation or an illusion with Neptune? Because, you know, anything that's glamour and illusion is negative. It is not reality, people. Don't idolize athletes. They don't live in your world, and you don't live in theirs. Music artists. Yes, we love their music. Yes, we love to watch them in the sports. Yes, it's a relief for us to be able to just not to enjoy a ball game or a sports activity or whatever, or listen to music to just relax. Whatever it may be. But don't glamorize, and movies as well. Don't glamorize these people. They don't live in our everyday world. They're a small percentage that will try to, because of who they are, and they know they got fans, and they know they can express what their ideals, their values. You know what? Stick to acting. Keep your ideals to your personal little friends or whatever, or your associates. Don't go out there and start pushing your ideals on the world. I'm not saying you can't, you know, they can't have them, but they don't live in reality. Put one of those idiots in an everyday life situation, because a lot of them forget where they come from. And then there's some really good ones that don't forget where they came from. But they're not out there spewing their ideology to people everywhere. So, you know, it's It's crazy. And this can create some anger, frustration. And they just need to keep it to themselves. I mean, really. And then the next one we have two of them here. Now, this is where they cross in the opposition. Venus in opposition to the ascending. Could be friends, whatever, something here coming up where there's a struggle, where you're dealing with people that you don't have the same ideals in your social life, and it may cause some disagreements here in a very serious way because the energies are not, look at it, the energies are not together. You have to make some adjustments. You can either choose to say, okay, I get where your point's coming from, but I just don't agree with it, and leave it at that. Then the idiot that you're talking to or whatever, I shouldn't say they're an idiot, but they come back at you really angry. Well, why don't you believe it? You know, So look, I'm done, and just walk away from them. Because this is, the South Node here is past, what we know, habits. You're learning something here. You're on your own life path here. And they're on theirs. And don't create these karmic lessons. Because somebody's going to try and antagonize other people. And I'm going to tell you, I got a really strong feeling that others are going to try to antagonize others that are opposing them. It's the individual against the society and the relationships. I mean, you can actively work here for something, maybe toward the same vision, if you can compromise here in these energies. But if you're dealing with somebody that just takes, and you're just helping, and they're not anything back, giving back into it, then you just got to put your foot down. You got to put limits in. I'll help you with this, but that's all I can do. Don't overextend yourself out to somebody. There's a difference between a helping hand up, or a hand out. Which one are you going to do? You're going to keep feeding this monster that's going on? Or are you going to stand up for the against the injustice? It's crazy. I mean, you're going to be dealing with people this afternoon. I would say be very careful too with road rage. Please. Then we have a T-square with the apex being at Uranus. Now, the midheaven is coming in conjunct with Jupiter. As above, so below. This is going to be up here. And this is going to be about this ascending, but it's coming in conjunct with Jupiter. So Jupiter is sending out this energy, or where it's coming from is over here with Venus. The dissatisfaction, or somebody trying to entice somebody in some way to give them what they want. Or for you to do something they want you to do. Either give them money, give them some, possessions that maybe you own, or, because I've heard that thing going around about, oh, you'll never own anything and you'll be happy. Well, I'm all for the simple life, but don't tell me that I don't have a right to own anything. Okay? Or come in and try to take what I've worked hard for. Now, you'll start a war with me on that. But as you can see, it's coming from over in this area in the 11th house, whatever may be in your 11th house. Or where that, your 11th house could be different. I mean, this could be whatever house that it's sitting in. Like for Virgo or Libra, these two over here. And I'm only saying that because there's planets over here. But it's like for Virgo, it would be first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth house. So it's about duties, your everyday, daily duties, and what you're trying to get done. And then for Libra, it's the fifth house. So, which would be some connection here in the fifth house to changing something here or something of value or something of whatever is your second house over to your fifth house. Like I said, you've got to start out with your first house. Either you're going to look at it in your sun sign or you're going to look at it as your ascending sign. Whatever one you want to follow, your sun or your ascending, you would put it in this area, in this house. And then you would know what signs are ruling what. Now, when you're talking about the sun sign, it's your interpersonal purpose, your inner drive, your energy, the source of your self-motivation, the sense of your confidence, your strength, your individuality and creativeness. When we're talking about the ascending, it's what's on the horizon, but it's what we kind of want the world to see, that we're putting out there for others to see. I mean, you don't show everything to everybody, right? So if you're ascending, like mine is Leo, then I would put Leo there. My strength, it, and then again, it's my 12th house as well. So it's about, but I'm gonna make it the first house, which then would make Cancer my 12th house, a loss of some way. So, or karma. I can only use mine because these are general and I don't know what everybody's got. So, and I'm not looking at everybody's chart. But there is this square here. And it starts out with the opposition to Venus. There's an opposition here, and we've seen this. And now, this reminds me of a very spiritual teacher who talks about, if you know him, is Jonathan Kahn. He wrote the book The Return of the Gods. And Venus was also known as a type of, like I said, she can cause loss. And she was known as Ishtar. She went by very many different names other than just the goddess of love. I mean, but there's an opposition here of something that's in this 11th house or in Aquarius. I have to deal with Aquarius because the house would be different for each one of you. I'm just looking at the general. I'm not doing individuals. This is the collective everywhere. So you would have to decide, or point out where. Get your chart and look at it. Remember the two yods that were sitting here that was present too. It comes right back down of something here. Your individuality. Some of you may have Virgo in your chart, but it'll be in a different house. And it's this yod that we've been having since 3:42 in the morning. Now we're at the 11th hour. Half the day is gone. And this is dealing with Jupiter. And where the midheaven is, expansion, growth. You know, are these relationships growing? Is the group really what you want to be a part of or not? You're being challenged here. You're either trying to build something up that's giving you some opposition, and the opposition is where you have the capacity for awareness and objectivity. Kind of, when you become aware of something and you kind of stand back and look at it in sort of a more objective way, not in a speculative way or anything like that, but in an objective way, and you're consciously facing something here that's opposite of you, whether in the relationships where something with illumination, you're shining the light on it, and your awareness of it. There's a problem here. We got a problem, Houston. The math don't add up. Something here's not making sense. Why is there got a trial coming up? Just got a notification. Missing mom murder trial in Connecticut. Okay. I don't know why I'm getting these weird notifications. Anyway, doesn't matter. But we got to look at this, and you're bringing the illumination, an awareness, or the conscious awareness of it. You're becoming aware there's a problem here, opposing, or something is frustrating you. It's like, how can we build something here? Because that's what a T-square does. It's either showing where you're having trouble building something, you're stumbling around, can't figure it out, or you're trying to build something here. And how you deal with this situation, it's kind of that thing, with the yod, with the two yods sitting there or being shown. It's kind of like, what would Jesus do? I don't know why that's coming to me so much. But, ask yourself, what would a true person who has compassion for others, who likes to be of service to others, but I'm not going to be ran over or abused, because you have the right to stand up for yourself and being honest and telling the truth. So how you handle this square is going to show what you're like on the inside. If you're a really devout, true person of faith, and you believe in the justice, you believe in the truth, you're going to stand up for it. And you're going to stand on the side of it, and you should. The next thing we have, we went over the two yods. Same yods that we've been dealing with the whole time. Now, the next thing we're going to be dealing with, it's going to kind of end this day. It's going to be around 10 o'clock. Usually we're all kind of hitting the hay. Getting settled down for the night. Because you're going to have from 4:25 in the afternoon, that this is going to be something that you're going to be, maybe things during the day will progress in this way, where first we're dealing with a couple of missile rectangles, something really not working right, with something that's frustrating you. Then all of a sudden you become aware of that somebody's doing something here. And then all of a sudden you can sit there and say, okay, I can point it out what it is right now, and I have to do something here. I have to take the action to do something here. And then we're going to finish the day with where we're dealing. Oh, let me go back over here. Let me show you. The moon has come up, and we're at the 16th hour, okay, of the day. And we are come on. Okay. We're back with this T square, okay? The hour is the moon, so it's the big focus here on the moon. The night is being ruled by the sun, even though Mercury rules the day, the nighttime is being ruled with the sun of shining or illuminating, bringing something out. It's an illumination that may be causing some frustration because we had the T square there. Because now the ascending, instead of being over here with Jupiter, you've got this opportunity of growth here, potential growth, expansion. And now the ascending, with the midheaven being over here, and where the midheaven was here, or the ascending was here, now it's with the moon. And this is basically where the ascending was at. These stay about 90 degrees apart, something like that. But now the apex is on this about your emotions, because now it's moving into Scorpio. The moon is moving into Scorpio. And I did say we're going to be dealing with the moon going through, let's see, which one was it? Yeah. The moon going through Libra. Will it be finishing up in Libra? Now we're going to be traveling through this moon going through Scorpio, which it will be in a fall. And what it means when it's in a fall, when it's when the planet is in the opposition of its exaltation, which would be the moon being here, it's in opposition here, because when the moon's here, it's in its exaltation. Here it's not. And when it gets into where it's not, it's in a fall or dishonor. So I don't know how you handle this. And it's dealing with Pluto here. Let me go back. What are we on? 28? Okay. We're dealing with that T square, but it's changed now. Remember, it was over here. Now it's pointed in the opposite direction. It's pointed toward the moon. And how you dealt with something. Is there something here where you failed, or you felt like you didn't give it what you could have gave it? Or did somebody make you feel they dishonored you in some way? They didn't respect your values, or they were working against you. Because again, it's where this is right now in this fifth house, in your fifth house, which is that house, like I said, of love affairs, romantic attachment, self-expression, creativity, drama. Do you feel like you failed in some way? Or you didn't put enough work into something here? You didn't do something here, and we're looking at Pluto. And remember, we had the mystical rectangles, which was Lucifer. I'm telling you, there's a demonic stuff going on here that doesn't want to see us succeed as a society. we're talking, and I've been talking about this for some time, and it's really, really bringing itself out. It's not hidden in the dark anymore. I was speaking to a friend about this last night. We're actually seeing something here that it wants control so bad over our souls, over our hearts, and people are turning into such demonic way that they don't care about nobody but themselves. And we have to really listen to what they're saying, question what they're saying. There's nothing better than good old common sense and life lessons to shut someone down. And I don't mean to disrespect them or just whatever, but to bring their toxicity out into the light. It took for them to face it, for them to actually see. I mean, I again, it just hit me. It just hit me like a light bulb. That's exactly what I've been doing. But in a respectful way, not in a way to demean someone or anything like that, but it's like letting them know, you've crossed the line with me. I'm a person of value, but yet you don't value what I do. And you certainly don't appreciate it. And this is what we need to address with others in a very calm way and tell them the truth. Call it out into the light. Illuminate what someone is doing, and you can do it in a way. You ain't got to be angry. You ain't got to be shouting at them. You don't have to be mean to them or anything like that. But again, we got the two yods here. With that T-square, and the apex is this moon. It's important. Because some people are going to be feeling. And believe you me, there's always the story of anything that is demonic, anything that is evil, it will to you shine. They live in the darkness, and as long as they think they can get away with it, until you call them on it, you call them on the BS, and you throw it in their face and say, look in the mirror, look at yourself, just look at yourself, what you're doing. And how you're hurting other people. You're doing this to not just me, but to everybody. And if you really know someone and you can call them out on the BS and show them, that's where it can break. Because that person has a choice then to stay the way they are or really seek the help to change their life. Because then we have the two yods that's been going on all day long. Do you get it now? You can bring about healing, but you've got to be honest and call this out, these individuals out. I mean, I would love to have the opportunity to get in somebody's face and hold that mirror up at them and show them, you are an evil person. You are really an evil, sick person. Shut up. Your voice means nothing anymore. And really shine it out to them. And tell them, you're evil. You're just downright evil. Go away. And this is where you can show them. I don't care if it's a teacher, an instructor, who it is. You have every right to stand up towards something here and stand up for justice. Honest justice. Because when they want to shout out, no one's above the law, well, baby, you ain't either. And you're just got dirty hands like all your friends that you could work with. I mean, it's mind blowing once you sit and think about it. And the ones who are really thinking about it and have gone through it and can see it and working toward it and getting their life healthy and taking care of themselves are the ones who have been hurt and wronged so bad. Every one of them. I went through mine for 7 years and partly still going through some of it. It ain't over yet. Do y'all know? Y'all probably, well, y'all don't really know. I've been married 3 times. I have a beautiful son by my first marriage. I have a beautiful daughter by my second marriage. And no children by the third. Those 2 divorces, one when I was young, that was my young sweetheart, high school romance, you might want to call it, or whatever. There was no problems with that. Within a year, it was over. It was divorced. Everything was settled. Second one, so amicable. Thinking about the children, what's best for both of them, my son and for our daughter. And still remain friends with the second one until his passing. I mean, that was done in no time. This third, to only find out that I married somebody that I wasn't really married to him, who then later come back and tried to say we were married. You know, really? It took 7 years, and I went through a judicial system that was like a kangaroo court. And I would love to hold a mirror up to all those judges who sat there and did not follow the law and look at every piece of evidence that put me through hell along with this person to sit there and do what they did and disregard all evidence, every last bit of it. I can't. It just blowed my mind. And did I stand up for myself? You darn right I did. And to later on have someone to stand up for me and the law and the truth in appealing the case, and 3 wonderful judges who I sat there and listened to their questions. I got where they were coming from, but they were judges that asked the right questions, who understood what the law really was, and it was a majority decision. They all concurred with the decision. So, but this still goes on. I mean, it's mind blowing. That's why I said, hold the ground, hold the mirror up. Not at you, unless you're the one doing the wrong. Look at your own shadow side if you're not putting the effort in. Because when you see those yo's, like I'm seeing them all day long, it's like you're getting a warning that you're going to be dealing with something today that you're going to be up against. And you even may hear some injustice today that'll make you angry. So, kind of want to warn you there. Because this is how the day will end. Are you going to end on the right side of honor, or are you going to be on the side of dishonor going forward? You make that choice. You can either sell your soul for fame, fortune, illusion, delusions, or you can do the right thing and you can speak your truth and you can stand up for the truth. And you ain't got to be ugly about it. Because I know I've been doing it. I don't put my foot down, y'all. Big time. So that's kind of what I got for you for today. Like I said, keep it real, keep it true. And if you will, I would appreciate it if you are new to the channel. Please hit that subscribe and the bell for notifications for uploads or live feeds. Don't forget to give a thumbs up on the videos. Also share the links with friends or family members. Give a hug to someone that you know that needs it. You know, I've seen people turn sometimes during the day when I'm out, when I go to appointments or whatever I'm doing, and I see somebody that's kind of looks distant. Don't look at somebody and just think because what you see, that's, you know, they must be a mean person, or, you know, they go, you know, whatever it is, they may be going something through something that you don't even know about. Give them a smile. Be kind. They just might have a lot of stuff on their mind. They may have a family member that's sick or something that's happening in their life that they're trying to work through. And if they kind of short with you or whatever in their speech or whatever's going on, just ask them or say, I'm sorry you're having a rough day, but it will get better. And see how that person might turn. Use the thank yous. Be polite. Please, thank you. Excuse me. These are nothing wrong with being a courteous, a person of, of grace. You ain't gonna be ugly. Because, you know, you always got that option to get up and walk away. So with all that being said, I thank you again. Y'all take care. And I will see you later. And I don't panic. I'm going to be doing the tarot, okay? All right, but I got to get a little ahead here on this, and then I can focus more on the other way. All right? Thanks. Love you guys. Thanks for being here with me. Comments are free and most definitely welcome.